Welcome to HBO Lax. This is Lizzy Pace.
And this is Katherine Dudas.
We are the two foremost TV, film, pop culture experts. Welcome to today's book, The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 6, Kin. Ooh.
Welcome
And it's going to
back.
be like, who's your family? You know, there's going to be a lot about family in this one, perhaps. The director of this was Jasmila Zvanek, who's from Sarajevo, Bosnia.
Ooh.
The writers are Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin. And we start with...
For some reason, we
see Henry
We see
dying
it
by
again.
suicide again.
Okay, so that's I'm going to stop right there. Why did we do that? I mean, I guess...
So that we're with them mentally.
Yes, but then it's
and
3 months
we're
later.
putting it in time and then doing 3 months later.
I guess I can see the putting it in time, but I'm like, we could have seen them like the graves or something. Jesus Christ.
Well, we did, and I thought that was a great cut when they cut from like the shot to the in the ground. It was like,
I liked that too.
Gut wrenching.
That was gut
There
wrenching.
I cried multiple times this episode. It was very emotional for me.
I definitely cried 2 times. But I didn't cry.
Terrible episode. Cried 2 times.
But I didn't cry. But we'll talk about it.
All right, so we cut to 3 months later. We see this wood cabin. There's these deer strung up. It looks pretty remote. Someone carries this rabbit carcasses inside, this man. And he sees this woman, and she kind of gestures to the side, and he puts down this bow and arrow, and we see that Joel is holding a gun to both of them.
Really loved. Okay, I will say. I didn't say I hated this. I said I was disappointed.
I mean, this scene is amazing.
This scene's amazing. This is a fantastic. This is the best scene of the episode. It is amazing. The reveal of Joel
disagree on that, but
is.
Yeah, okay.
No, you're right.
Sure.
You're right. It's not. It's
no,
not
it
the
is
best
an
scene.
amazing scene.
But it is such a good scene. It is so funny. But yeah, I love the reveal of Joel when you don't know he's there until he says, "Who the hell are you?" Joel says, "Just passing through. Take the gun out, 2 fingers only," which I love these. I'm like, ooh.
I feel like there were a lot of like things we should probably remember, like how to hold someone at gunpoint if you need to.
Yes, because Henry didn't know. Remember,
like,
we don't want to embarrass ourselves when we have someone. Like when we're holding that gun to them, we don't want to be like, what do we do next?
We don't want them to then take my gun back really fast because they obviously know I don't know what I'm doing.
Like in Narcos that I just saw.
Exact. Oh, you got to the checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great moment.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. Can we talk about this woman in this scene? She is
I love her.
so funny. She's rocking back and forth slowly the whole scene and just like doing this like face play and like laughing. Oh my God.
Everything
and all of
she
her
says is
answers are
amazing.
so sarcastic.
They're so
she's
funny.
She's like the White Lotus season 1 teens.
Yes. Oh my gosh. She's the White Lotus.
Attitude.
That is exactly who she is. She like watched their performance and she was like, yeah, that's what the director said. They're like, that's this vibe. No, she is so funny.
I assume there are a couple, the guy's mad that she like made him soup.
Oh
soup
yeah.
for Joel.
Oh, yes, that and he said that they've been there since before Joel was born. And she was like, I didn't want to. Which was so funny. But I was like, queen, relatable that. Queen. And Joel asks him to point out on the map where they are, and it better be the same answer as your wife's. This as your wife, very smart, Joel. I would not think about this. I wouldn't even think about that. Of course they might lie. But why would I know that? I'm a little baby.
I'm a
baby.
I'm too hot to know how to survive.
Endure and survive. Hot and complain. Came here.
Hot and complain.
Be hot and complain. So yeah, he wanted to get the hell away from everybody.
I came up with a new tagline for our podcast. Is this a good time?
Oh yes, no, please, of course, right in the middle of our, yeah, absolutely.
I think we should have as many taglines as possible.
Yes.
Okay, HBO Lax. the podcast for hot people who can't read good.
That's so funny. Wait, can I say my only change would be hot people who can't read. Period.
I don't know. We'll
work on it. We'll work on it. Let us know in the comments.
Anyway,
sound off in the comments.
Joel demands to know where. And by the way, did you get that was a reference to the male modeling movie?
No.
Okay. Do you remember in the male modeling movie with Ben Stiller?
Zoolander.
Zoolander. So at the end, his dream is to make this center for kids who can't read good.
Oh.
Do you remember?
I don't remember. I'm too young, Lizzy. I was born in 2006.
I know you are. I just, like, as soon as I was like, Zoolander, I was like, oh, she's not going to know this, man.
She's just a baby.
Anyway, it's a millennial reference.
I missed it by a couple of years. My brother knows it more than I would. But shout out Mike. He does not listen.
Sorry for the tangent.
Anyway.
They say where they are, and they also say, oh, don't go over here don't cross this river of death. Like, no one comes back alive. Ooh. And they leave. Ellie steals a dead rabbit, and they walk to this river. They camp out, and
Joel
Ellie's
has his first panic attack. Before Joel, we get a little hint of what's going on with Joel. He basically has a panic attack, is I think what we would say. Yeah. And he says it's the cold air all of a sudden. She's like, okay, right.
It was because Ellie says you're not scaring us, and the lady is like, I scared him, and Joel is starting to have the panic attacks about protecting Ellie, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Or it appears. And Ellie asks Joel to teach her how to hunt. I was like, oh, so he's brave. Daddy moment.
Yes, that is cute. And also it made me be like, oh my God, in the apocalypse, I'm going to have to gut a rabbit, Lizzy. And I'm going to be so bad at it. I know, that part
when they were talking about the
dressing and undressing.
Part, I was like, out. Undressing.
Out. They're beautiful. I love these shots. Beautiful winter shots of them walking through.
Oh my God, gorgeous!
Really love this.
This whole episode was really pretty.
Beautiful. We cut to them at night with Joel wrapping up his shoe with some tape next to a fire. Ellie's looking at the northern lights, I guess. I don't know. It's the most amazing, beautiful. What is that? It's so gorgeous. It's just like green in the sky.
Yeah, where are they?
I don't know. I was like, aren't they in like Wisconsin or something? No, they're in Wyoming.
Yeah, maybe
right?
like north.
Wait, because they're in Wyoming, right? Yeah, because maybe it's but also there's no sky pollution or whatever. There's no light pollution anywhere or real pollution.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it's just like more beautiful.
A lot. This shot was gorgeous, where Ellie is up on the rock and he's on the fire below.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that was really beautiful.
And he's fathering her more. Come down, you're gonna break your neck. And she demands some of his flask, and he resists at first, and then gives it to her.
Cool dad. What a cool dad.
Cool dad.
That's cool dad.
And Ellie says she's been thinking, what do we do after we find the fireflies and they take my blood? And Joel's like, and she's like, okay, well, what are you doing? What would you do if you could do anything? And he says he wants an old farmhouse land ranch where he can raise sheep because they're quiet and do what they're told.
This was so interesting. I was really surprised by this answer. I was like, wow, okay, so lone man thing. This was a very sweet, kind of little, sweet way of him distancing himself from her, and sad. And then she takes it in, tries to take it in stride, and it's just like, okay. And implies that he is annoyed by how talkative and not quiet she is. And then
oh my God.
I know.
He asks where she's gonna go, and she points at the moon. I start hyperventilating. I'm like, I can't handle this. Like, when she says that she like wants to be an astronaut and that she looks up to Sally Ride, I was like, I was like, she can never go to the moon.
Oh, Lizzy, I love you so much. Oh, that's so. You're right. That is really. Oh, that's really beautiful.
We never
That's
appreciate it, Catherine. You
That's
and I,
true.
we
don't.
could.
I'm too scared, Lizzy. If
Theoretically.
someone asked me to, I'd be like, no, I can't. It's too scary.
Well, I don't want to be first or whatever.
Someone has to.
100th. I don't know. You need some more to go.
Lizzy, you don't want to be the first person on the moon? We could happen. It's all conspiracy anyway. It never happened.
You're like, Lizzy, did you understand this scene at all? We've been to the moon.
That's what she's referencing. that's so. And Lizzy's like, yeah, one day we'll get there.
There were, I just like father-daughter stuff. Like, I've never cried harder than in the movie Father of the Bride.
Oh, yeah.
Like, any part of that movie I can't watch. And, like, Subaru commercials. Like,
first, Father of the Bride. Close second, Subaru commercials. In the
well, there's a very similar theme.
Oh, you're right. A woodsy outdoor dad teaching his woodsy lesbian daughter how to make what, I don't know. How to camp, because Subaru's the lesbian car. That's what everyone says when they get in my car. They're like, you have the lesbian car, and I'm like, hell yeah, I do.
Nice.
And she's beautiful. Her name's Minerva.
Oh God, this scene.
Oh,
well, yeah, the father-daughter stuff. I just can't, and that's why this
you.
episode I think was really hard for me.
Yes, this is the theme.
Ellie tells. Oh God.
She tells him. Oh yeah, when he says, "What's your favorite?" Sally fucking ride.
She says, "The vaccine's gonna work, right?" And then he's like, "It's a little late to start wondering." And she says, "I tried with Sam."
She says, "I tried with Sam," and Lizzy.
I can't. She doesn't have to tell him, but she's like, "I need to talk to you about this." Lizzy.
That's really beautiful. Lizzy just watched this episode. By the way, she literally finished it like 20 minutes ago, and I finished it like 12 hours ago. So I'm like, oh right, I remember now. I think your emotions are way more pure than mine are right now. I mean, it was really sweet, and also it made me it's extra sad because it means it took her 3 months to tell him. Like, that also made me really sad that she was just like holding that in because it's been 3 months. I didn't
even think of that.
And it was like, I was like so surprised. I guess we saw it in the trailer thing the last time, but like I was like, oh, she's telling him now.
So they both told each other their big secrets this episode.
Exactly. That's, oh my God. I can't wait to get to that moment.
He didn't tell her.
Oh, that moment was chilling.
All right. So she says she tried to save Sam, and
she's, I wanted to save
Joel,
him.
And and I was like, is Joel going to get mad that like she let the kid like turn,
which I would be mad,
endanger them all? He doesn't. He says, I reckon it's more complicated, but Marlene's no fool, so if she thinks they can do it, they can do it.
I love that. I loved talking about Marlene in that way, and I was surprised. I was like, yeah, that's a good that's a great answer. She asks if she wants to take the first shift, if he wants to take the first or second shift. He says he'll take both because he's dad. And then we cut to him sleeping, and she said, I woke up early, you passed out. And he was like, you got to wake me when this happens. Very protective. He was like, but then she said, but I'll keep watch like you taught me to. What can I say, man? I'm a natural. I'm really, oh my God, it's just gonna get. And she also, can I say, Ellie looks so cute in this hat. This whole time she's been, every shot, I'm like, you are the cutest little cherub. I love you so much. Every time when she's in this hat, I'm like, you are baby, and I love you.
Oh my God, one of our friends was like, The Last of Us is so bad. That girl's horrible actor. And I was
Lizzy
like,
and I were across the table like, what? Where are Ellie? Are Bella Ramsey?
I guess you could think that.
Also, Lizzy, something I didn't know. One of my favorite Netflix shows is Hilda. Did you ever see Hilda on Netflix? It's this like, it's kind of a kid's show, honestly, but it's this like British cartoon. It's like very endearing, and I love it. It's very comforting to me. She's the voice of Hilda. It's a very, and I've always wondered who the voice actor is hilarious because it's such a good voice, and obviously it's her. She has such a yeah, it's her. I was so happy.
Our anonymous friend is so wrong about
Our
it.
anonymous friend is eating her words.
We see these gorgeous bridge shots in the snow, and they walk through these trees, and we see this amazing overhead shot of them crossing. Then we get these little like cuts of conversations that they're having. She wants to learn how to whistle. She wants to learn how to hunt. And this is where Joel says you can handle shooting but not dressing, aka the part where they take the guts out.
I really, literally, Lizzy, when I said to Nick, my friend I was watching with this one, I was like, okay. Well, they were like, wait, what are you talking about? Because I guess I had my own train of thought, but when I heard that line, my brain just went, okay, so if the apocalypse happens, I have to get good at that. But maybe, like anything, humans become desensitized, so maybe it'll take 10 times. So what I say out loud to Nick is, okay, I think it'll take 10 times of me de-gutting a rabbit for me to be okay with it, to get used to it. And they were like, what? They were like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, right, I have to tell you my thought process. Yeah, they were like, who are you talking to? I was like, oh, well, I had a panic in my head when Joel was talking about, I was like, I'm like, I can't de-gut. I'm too weak. But I'm like, you know what? I bet if I desensitize myself to it, I could do it. And then.
No, Catherine, we are going to have to up our people game so hard.
Oh, you mean like to get people to do stuff for us like princesses? Yes, I agree.
What else do I have? Nothing.
We only have our looks. We've said it so many times. It's the only thing we have. And you know what? Yeah. Hopefully all the supermodels become zombies first. Also, so
yeah. I think we could beat them.
Yeah, we just.
Oh my God, my friend had her nails done this weekend and couldn't do anything.
Does she usually not get her nails done?
No.
That's
and she was
funny.
just, at one point she pulled me aside and she's like, I want to be free.
That is womanhood summed up in a sentence. That is all of womanhood. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. This is the friend that's a doctor, right?
She's free now. Yeah. She's free.
That's funny. We cut to a shot that I will say we cut to this bridge shot that Nick and I both said like the same time, Quiet Place. Like, I don't know why this bridge shot, did it remind you of the Quiet Place for whatever reason? I don't know why. I'm just saying that in case our listeners also made them think of it.
There's a traumatizing Quiet Place scene next to a bridge.
Right. This, I said it out loud and Nick was like, I was just going to say Quiet Place. So, and if anyone else, sound off in the comments if Quiet Place. But yeah, I don't know. And then beautiful overhead shot of the bridge.
Well, where was Quiet Place shot? Because this is all in Canada, right?
Oh, maybe it's the same bridge. Because filming.
I know. I just realized that I was like, oh, maybe this is a famous Kansas City bridge or whatever. And then I'm like, wait, I know that they filmed this.
Oh,
I mean, maybe there's some CGI of local.
Oh yeah,
local spots. I don't know. Anyway, they come up to this dam, and Ellie says, damn. And Joel says, you're no Will Livingston. And I was like, he's dead.
I know, that was so dad. That was really cute. Oh, and really funny moment. I laughed out loud when he was like, don't ask me. I don't know how it works. He's like, yeah. She's like, this is made electricity. He's like, yeah, I don't. And I'm like, oh, relatable king. I was like, I also, if someone was like, what's a dam? I'd be like, shut up. I don't know.
But also like, wasn't he a contractor? Shouldn't he know how electricity works?
Oh my God, Lizzy, so funny. A good point. Should he know how dams work?
I don't know.
Oh, but Ellie was like, I would have believed you, which I thought was funny. I enjoyed all this walking banter is really, I really enjoyed this episode.
I think part of what I loved about this episode is there was like no danger.
See, I was hoping
just
for,
like
you're
emotional.
Right. You're right.
Beauty.
I was like, I think there at a certain point in the episode, I was like, I think this is going to be a no violence. I think they saved all the budget for these episodes, and they're like, this is going to be a lowest budget episode because we don't have to have a freaking makeup mask guy, which is smart.
Well, I need a break. I need a break from the like.
You're right. That's fair. This is a good break.
You can't have every episode be like traumatizing.
Yeah, not every episode can be episode 3 and 4 and 2 and 1.
Speaking of trauma,
Speaking of trauma,
a bunch of horses come upon them, and Joel says, "Get behind me, Dad." And not looking for trouble, we're passing through. This guy says, "Drop the gun." They're wearing masks. They tell Ellie to step 5 steps back, and Joel tries to say something. He says, "How about you shut the fuck up," or something. And I was like, this is a great, like, Brooklyn to Christina Mandrell on Bachelor said this line also last week. Anyway, he brings out this dog that can supposedly smell the infected, and it comes and smells them. Okay, this part was very stressful.
I will say this was very stressful, and my mind was racing. My heart was racing, and she looked so cute in her little hat. Her little cherub face was so scared. And then
he hears this ringing in his ears.
Yes,
he has
he's
the PTSD.
Yeah. Oh my god. I didn't. He had the PTSD.
Panicking.
Oh, that is so. Oh yeah, that was so. And then he turns around, and she's playing with the dog, which is in a very cute way, and the dog is so cute. I will say
it's so much like if Sarah was alive.
It's so much.
Oh god. If things had just gone a little differently. No, but obviously everything would have gone differently, and maybe Joel wouldn't have killed all those people.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That we found out about.
The
guy says you're innocent from infection. You bought yourself 10 seconds. And Joel says, "I'm looking for my brother." And this lady comes forward and says, "What's your name?" And he says, "Joel." And then we see horses running across the snow.
I love that we get to be cowboys again when it's the apocalypse. I love that. I love that we go back and we get to be... It's cowboys again. It makes sense because that feels like... That was like, I guess what? Like 1800s when we were like 1700s?
Loving to see you guess this.
It's like
wait, you know history.
It's like society. It's like it makes sense that this is what they'd go to because it's like, well, the point. It's like not so modern, like to the 2000s, but it's like we can kind of. If you were like Katherine, you're in the apocalypse. I could make a world that's like the 1800s. I wouldn't be so primitive that it's just the 1400s, but I could get to 1800s level of technology because I'm not very smart, but I understand enough things.
If you had other people.
If I had other people.
Like you couldn't build a house.
Right. And if me and like-minded people, they were like, okay, do a society. It would be around the 1800s, if that makes sense. Does that it wouldn't.
I always worry about a time travel situation because I don't feel like I could explain anything that would be helpful.
You're like, okay,
I would just do the one where the guy goes back in time and like pretends he's like comes up with all of the Beatles songs or Britney Spears songs.
Yes,
I would just
that's a good idea.
Do that.
Make a fortune. Oh my god, no, I would forget all. I would get the date wrong for Pearl Harbor. I'd be like, I think it was December 8th. I was like, fuck, it's the day later.
Wait, that's a great TikTok. I go back in time and I'm trying to warn people about things happening.
Yeah, and I got one day off.
Look, I think
it's like, and they're like, what day does this happen? It's like,
I want to say Hawaii.
And I get the island wrong. I'm like... Oh my god! Yeah. Oh boy.
Well,
so they enter.
We're so lucky we're in this time.
Thank God, Lizzy. Oh my god. We enter Jackson, this town, this amazing, cute cowboy paradise. And immediately, Joel sees
there's a lady in a wheelchair and children.
Yeah.
It's not. The
it's
dog
Christmas.
eat dog world.
There's a Christmas tree
and a school.
And they hug, and then Joel sees Tommy, and they have the most beautiful hug moment ever. And Joel is so happy, and it's the first time we see Joel smile. And
so Joel cries, I cry.
Yeah, honestly, anytime
Ellie
Joel cried,
a little sad too, and that made me even sadder.
That was sad. Yes, that was sad. She felt like she wants that kind of love from him. And it was, it cuts to them. Oh, wait, first I have a question. Maybe we'll get to it. How long has Tommy been away? I couldn't figure out. Sound off in the comments. Was it a couple years? Because he was like, he wasn't answering him. Oh, maybe 10.
I want to say like 10 years.
Oh, I
don't know.
Okay. Oh, maybe he left 10 years. Maybe it was 10 years. And then, but the thing that made Joel go look for him was
I don't know. When he was like, you look old.
When he stopped hearing from him. Oh, yeah, you look old. Okay. I think you're right. I think it is closer to.
Because, like, Tommy went off to join something.
Yeah.
And then the Fireflies, right?
Yeah.
So he's done some stuff. Tommy has long hair now. Looks great.
He's a cutie.
He's thriving.
Yeah.
And Joel says, I came here to save you. Oh, God. They go eat food in this beautiful hall.
Beautiful.
Ellie says, I don't think I've ever had a proper meal. Fucking amazing. And Joel is apologizing for her like he is dad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ellie, let's mind our manners. And then Ellie just screams at some random lady.
Yeah, a kid. She's
that
like a.
Is not explained.
It was very animalistic. Well, you know, it felt like, I feel like this will clear up in the flashback episode we're getting next week. Because
oh my God, when I saw it was going to be an
hint.
Ellie flashback, I got so excited.
I was very excited. I was like, thank you. I was like, I can't wait. Because this, I think, was a little bit of an interesting indication. Like, it was very animalistic jail-like. It was very like she was been in a jail for 20 years. Like the way she saw any perceived threat, like the way she sees other people, like she sees them as threats first. And the person was another kid, so also it's like she saw her as like, that's one of my kind, and like,
right,
I don't know, so
she was like trying to scare the other kids.
Yeah. And yes, so I think we'll find out more. But yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah, they say kids around here don't look or talk like you. I feel like they're trying to like show that Ellie is like much more rough and tumble than the people there.
You know what they're doing in this episode is they're placing, because we've only known Ellie within the context of this fucked up world, and then they're like placing Ellie in the world we know, and they're showing us, actually, look, Ellie's not your typical. Remember, Ellie is not your typical kid. Which I'm like, that, so that makes sense. Yeah, and the woman's like, she was just curious. But and then Ellie was pissed at her because she was like, you were going to kill us. And she's like, well, we have to be careful. But it's all bark. We're just trying to scare off those who might hurt us. And Ellie talks about, Ellie said that the old couple sees dead bodies. And Tommy's like, a bad reputation doesn't always mean you're bad. We are grateful for you. Joel's like, we're grateful for your hospitality, but it'd be nice to have a moment just family. And Tommy's like, well, now that you mention it, Maria is family. And Ellie's like, congrats. And I was like, oh. And then my heart just hurt for Joel. I was like, he didn't get to see the wedding. Like that just, I was like, wait, oh.
I mean, Joel reacts like heartbroken at this moment.
And I feel it. I would feel the same. I'm like, if I'm Joel, I'm feeling so rejected. I'm like, why didn't my brother tell me to come move out here with me? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what? Like, I'm feeling so hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
like,
he
lives in this
with
amazing
Tommy.
place while I'm shoveling child bodies?
Literally, yeah, Lizzy. I had a big problem with Tommy. I mean, that's why I was like, I had a big problem with Tommy. I'm like, why? We'll get into it, I guess, like, but I'm like, you fucked over your poor brother thought you were like dead. Like, you couldn't have. And I guess Tommy alludes later on that he's like, well, they didn't let me. Oh, they're very, his excuse was they're very secretive at this place. They're very
like, don't use the radio.
And
I'm like, can't use one radio.
I'm like, it's your brother. And so it's like, really, and so anyway, they walk outside. They're explaining the community. It stops the raiding parties. Tommy says the infected are in smaller colonies wandering off from cities. All of this is open country out here, and it's like a turkey shoot. It's easy, like, but I guess he's saying it's easy to just kill the infected whoever comes.
I guess turkeys are easy to kill.
Yeah, I guess, I know. We're too hot to hunt. We don't hunt our own food. We're too hot for that.
Help me.
Yeah, they're basically, they stay off the radio. They have a house of worship, multi-faith school, a laundry. It's basically a town, old bank
You
that
know
works as
what we could
jail.
be? We
What?
could be the keepers of the culture. And we tell people back, like, this is everything that happened on The Bachelor that you can't ever see.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Yes,
like
we're like
story
the
time.
old women story like in like Native American
Yeah.
tribes. There's always the old that like gather around and this is what
Storytellers.
happened on Chris Soules' season.
Yeah.
And I will recount the tale of Chris Soules.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Last of Us. This is what
Yes.
happened. White Lotus
you're right.
season
I
1,
think
can't
you're right.
really remember, but season 2, cut to Katherine and I getting hung.
Yeah. Because we like I stole like the first piece of bread I could, or like,
Yeah, literally.
I was like I Les Mis'd it immediately. Amazing. Anyway,
we see Maria say that they have to stay off the lights so that no one actually hears about them. We see they walk through the town. There's a bunch of sheep. It's like, oh, this is literally Joel's dream life.
yeah.
And Maria tells him no one's in charge. It's a democratically elected council. We rotate patrols, livestock, collective ownership. And Joel's like, so communism? And Tommy's like, no, not like that. And Maria's like, yes, we're communists. And
It's a
Tommy
communist.
stops in his tracks as he's like, holy shit, I'm a communist.
This was brilliant.
I loved that.
I laughed so hard at this. And then Joel looks at him like, haha, because okay, again, let's go back to the tapes of 2003. And let's think about when these guys were born. These were men born in the Cold War. Like they were raised probably with like go under your desk, there's a nuclear. They were raised in communists are evil land. Still like towards the end
definitely.
of it.
You could tell it from Tommy's reaction because it's obviously
brilliant.
like he didn't think the idea of it was actually that bad.
Literally, exactly. He was like, it was so and Joel, the way Joel brotherly looks at him, like, ha ha, you fucking commie. Like you could just tell. He's like, you hippie commie. It's brilliant. Like, I love it. I love it so much. Again, like I said before on an episode, like, using all the parts of the cow. Like let's really think about this. And if you get that joke and it's amazing. And it seems like an ideal, honestly, Nick and I were saying, we're like, why does this seem way better than how we're living? I was like, they should just stay here. This seems way better than our deal. It's like you just trade for shit.
I mean, you have job security.
Yeah. Job security.
Not a
you
lot
get
of
to ride
competition
horses.
for mates.
You get to be like, I'm sorry, like if I got to ride a horse every day, I'd be very happy.
There was like in the beginning scenes in this episode where they were like riding horses through like wildflowers and stuff. It was so sweet.
Oh my God.
God. Tommy and Joel then go to a bar and by the way, Maria says they can go in the house next to them and she'll take Ellie.
And apparently there's only like 300 people in this community. So it's like, because I was like, why is a house just open? And I'm like, I think it's like pretty decent.
Yeah, so I was wondering when they're like, you don't go beyond the river. I'm like, maybe they spread the word that there's all these murderers up there or something. Like,
to keep people away.
To try to keep people away. I don't know.
That's smart. That's really smart. We got to remember this when we have our own little Western town.
I know.
We
got to be like,
2060.
we got to put signs that say like, cannibals live here so that no one will go.
It's like arrows. Cannibals here. This way to the cannibals. And people will be like, wait,
this obviously you want to make like a moat and like a dead body moat.
Yes, a bunch of dead body moats, but it's just sex dolls that we we just buy old sex dolls. I don't want to kill people. We'll just pretend like we've killed people.
No, you're gonna find bodies.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll just find them all. We don't have to do it. We'll just find them. Got it. Okay.
We're not touching them.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
We're not.
I was like, I need you to say we're not touching the dead bodies. Those are for the people who cater to us.
By the way, I have been inspired. I'm like, maybe I need to try a Diva cup. I don't know.
I was thinking the same. This was the best commercial for Diva Cup they could
Right?
have come up with
I was like,
because it
looks
did
pretty
make
simple.
it does seem simple, and it probably is the most sustainable. And
Yeah.
when there's
Oh,
an
yeah.
apocalypse, we got to get used to it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we should just start getting used to all these
All
things
these
now.
things, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Joel says, doesn't seem like you've aged much to Tommy. And Tommy's like, you, on the other hand, well, thanks for still giving a shit about me. We're even raising hogs, so we're going to have bacon. And Joel's like, Christmas trees and bacon. He's come here thinking his brother's in trouble, and really, his
He's living it up.
brother's blossoming.
He's living it up. Joel lies about Ellie, about who she is, and Tommy
about
immediately is like,
Tess.
why, he
says
asks
Tess
about
is
Tess.
still alive.
He says Tess is still alive. He cannot deal with it. This makes sense. And he asks him, out of the goodness of your heart, you took Ellie. And he explains there's a payment. Tommy nods his head. And then Joel asks, where there are fireflies, and there's a base down at the University of Eastern Colorado. It's a week's ride south, so now we know where the next stop is. But it's severely fucked up between then and here. So we know that will be, it's not exactly an easy trip. And he said, it'll be easy for us seeing as, you're so good at shooting. And Tommy does not want to go. He cannot go. And immediately, Lizzy, I was like, she's pregnant. He said, I can't go. I was like, pregnant. Fucking call
Good
that
for
shit.
you.
Wow.
I didn't.
And yeah, he was like, well, your wife won't let you.
Too hot
She's
to know.
Yeah, too hot to too hot to know. We find out here that Maria is the one who kept them off the radio. He said they're good people. They didn't have to take me in. And all they ask is I follow their rules. I'm your brother, Joel says. It's like, Tommy. He says, they're very protective of this place. I get it, but it's good for a good reason. But poor Joel.
And he says those things you judge me for were to keep us alive.
Oh,
And Tommy says we murdered people. I don't judge you for it. We survived the only way we knew how. But there were other ways. If you knew the shit I went through, I'm going to be a father, he reveals. A few months along, I have to be more careful. I'm scared, but I feel like I'd be a good dad. And Joel says, I guess we'll find out.
And Tommy immediately calls it out. Yeah. Tommy immediately is like so upset. Yeah, he's like, I guess we'll find out. That's all I have to say. And Joel's like, what do you want me to say? And basically, Tommy, oh God, it's so sad. Just because life stopped for you, it doesn't stop for me.
God, what a line.
Tommy. It's not, Tommy just isn't, he's just not understanding. Yeah, Joel says, we'll grab supplies, we'll be out of your hair. And
Tommy has a wife and a baby on the way, Katherine.
No, I know, but why didn't he tell Joel? It just, poor Joel. I don't think he's being as sensitive enough to his brother. I'm like, he came all the way across here to find you. He risked his life so much, and here living it up. And why didn't you ask me to come live with you? If my fucking sister went to live in a better apocalypse place and she didn't tell me,
with sheep
and horses you can ride all the time, I would be
your dream animal.
So hurt. I would be like, you have to apologize to me a lot. The fact that they're even drinking, and being okay. I'm like, I would not be okay.
Well, it sounds like there's kind of an implication that they left with one of them abandoning the other.
So did Tommy just leave? So Tommy, because Tommy left with the fireflies, right? It's like he just
Yeah, I think so. But then he left that one too. They didn't really clear up what his relationship with the fireflies is, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is now, but yeah, since I think maybe they did say.
Joel says, we'll grab supplies and be out of your hair in the morning. And he storms outside and he approaches the Christmas tree and he collapses onto a pole, clutching his chest. Another panic attack. And then he sees this girl who looks like his daughter from the back.
This got me.
I cried.
Yeah, I cried too. This got me. We cut to Ellie getting out of the shower, and she sees a note from Joel saying, I'm across the street. And she, sees the Diva Cup.
I thought that was from Maria.
Oh, My bad. It probably was from Maria. I don't know. Yeah, the handwriting was too neat.
I don't know. I think I had assumed it was Joel at first, and then I was like, oh no,
No,
there's
you're
all the
right.
other
It's
stuff.
definitely Maria. It's definitely Maria. Because yeah, she left that. Yeah,
She gives her these clothes and a diva cup.
and she's
The
like,
diva cup was my most feminist moment of the week.
That's sweet.
I really do feel like they never discuss periods in this type of media.
Yeah.
And I think mainly probably because it's like mostly like male creators or whatever, but I love this.
No, Lizzy, I 100% agree. You were so right to call that out because that is such a that would be unheard of 10 years ago.
They had the tampons too.
Yeah.
And it's like something women spend a fifth of their lives.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's such a huge. It's crazy. It's like of course it would be so crazy to do an apocalypse show without showing how a woman is dealing with the thing that happens, a bleeding from her vagina once a month. Like, I'm so happy about that. So yes, I love that.
Oh my God. Okay, then we see. This episode, Jesus. Ellie walks into Maria and Tommy's house and sees these 2 candles in this setup, and then there's 2 dates, basically like a little memorial for Kevin, a 3-year-old who died, and then Sarah, 14-year-old. So you're like, okay, who's Kevin? And also, is Ellie gonna figure out that Sarah is Joel's kid?
Yep.
Maria brings Ellie a coat and tells her she has to give her a haircut.
Yeah. She's being very maternal and motherly. It's lovely. Did you get the thing I left you? Weirdest gift ever, but useful. And yeah, so she cuts her hair. She asks what her job was. That she says she was an assistant district attorney. I'm like, that makes sense that she would be the leader then. In Omaha, Nebraska. That feels
yeah, I love that.
I put bad guys.
That's badass.
It is badass. I put bad guys in jail. It's cool, I guess. And Ellie says, yeah, she was looking at the memorial Tommy made, and she says, I'm sorry about your kids. And Maria's like, just kid, Kevin. Sarah was Joel's.
I feel it coming.
Sarah was Joel's daughter, and oh my gosh, I was really her reaction was, I really liked her reaction. How did you feel?
Ellie's?
Yeah, I don't know why you just like if it made me feel this revelation bit like I don't know, I felt it with, I don't know, and there wasn't even that big of a face change.
Can you imagine, like, they've been traveling together for so long?
It really hit me.
And the kid was exactly your age.
Yeah.
And gender.
Yes. And you're like, oh, he is dad.
I'm triggering.
Yeah, it's
I'm
me.
the
Hi. And then Maria goes in this thing about maybe don't trust Joel. Be very careful. Like the people who, the only people who can betray us are the people that we trust. And it's like, all right, relax.
Oh my
Maria.
God, that line. Jesus.
It's like, okay, well, don't.
I
don't know.
Maria, you're trusting Ellie pretty
She's
fast.
very cynical. Maria's. It makes. I don't know. It's interesting because I go back and forth because I mean she's obviously. She's done like the best job that we've seen of the post-apocalyptic people other than Bill, but Bill also didn't have any human contact
Maria?
except for Maria. Like she's done such a good job, and her cynicism is probably a big part of it, or not even her like she can't be too trusting. Like it's actually like my instinct is to be like, oh, Maria, like you're not being like nice, but like it's like she's right. She's right. Like
there's no way Katherine and I still exist at this time.
This is why Lizzy and I are already in the ground.
You guys, she's a kid.
I'm like, Joel, you don't know Joel. I'm like, I think Maria doesn't trust Joel at all, and I feel very close to Joel because I didn't see him kill those innocent people because the show didn't show me that because we started after.
Yeah, the show didn't show us that. Tommy probably told Maria all the stuff that they did.
I know all this about this. I'm like, you don't know that he is. And also, I don't know who said. Maybe it was.
Do you think we're gonna see that?
see. I would love to see. Oh, I don't know if we will, but I would love to see that. They say in the after, I think this was in the after the show thing. But obviously Joel and Maria both lost a kid and like both handled it really differently. Like, and it's like Maria did this and Joel
the
killed,
after show thing said
Sorry,
that.
yes, yeah. I was like,
Maria says that Ellie would have made a hell of a lawyer when she's like, maybe I'm smarter than Tommy, but be careful. Oh yeah, grab your coat. We're going to the movies.
Cute.
Oh God! And then they're like, Ellie's sitting with the other children watching a movie, and it's so like watching a movie is representative of this like level that a society has to get to, where there's like enough safety
so
and
true.
like we can use the resources towards pleasure and do kind of the jobs that you and I do and like the people making the show do. You know, it's like it's
such a reminder.
A leisure thing.
It's such a reminder that movies are luxury. Like so much of what we take for granted is such a luxury, and is only because a lot of people before us, for generations, like worked hard to get us a surplus of food.
Oh yeah, really hard.
and we did nothing, and now we come in and we're like, hey, we're hot and we pod. But I'm like, but do they hot and pod? I'm like, sure, they invented the wheel, but
the wheel is one I think I could do if I went back in time.
Lizzy's like, I got the wheel. I got this.
Guys,
you take mushrooms. You're the first person to do mushrooms. You're like, okay.
Oh, no, I wouldn't know what mushroom is okay.
Oh,
no way.
Also, do you know about the stoned ape theory? It's one of my favorite evolutionary theories, is that the reason why we have consciousness is because our ancestors took magic mushrooms, just ate the mushroom, like magic mushrooms, psychedelics. And that's why we developed consciousness, because it helped open up part of the brain. It's a whole theory. It's a honestly, the Lex Friedman podcast, the guy talked about it.
The which podcast?
The Lex Friedman podcast. He interviews like scientists and people.
Friedman.
And this guy has.
I need to do some research.
Well, it's not. It's a very it's a theory, but isn't that a cool theory? I'm like I think that it's my favorite. I don't, there's no way you can really prove it, but I love that idea. I don't know. The stoned ape.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
we cut to this workshop. Joel's sadly trying to fix his shoe, all upset, and Tommy comes in, gives him a new pair of boots, apologizes, says, I know you're happy for me. It's complicated for you, and I'm sorry. And Joel asks him if it's a suicide mission to go to the university. And Tommy's like, you can do it. And Joel's like, but do people come back? And then he trusts Tommy. He says, she's immune. She's infected but didn't get sick. I saw her get bit myself months ago. And Tommy asks him to tell the story from the beginning. And Joel basically explains, it was Marlene hired us to smuggle her to Fireflies. It was bad. Tess got bit. Okay, he finally confesses that Tess is dead, and her dying wish was to take the kid. She saved my life. I was almost shot by another kid. And he's basically saying, I'm off my game in terms of the business of kicking ass, and that he had a panic attack when he thought the dog was going to kill her today, and I'm weak. And oh my God, he starts crying here. I start crying. Oh. I'm weak. Fear comes out of nowhere. My heart feels like it's stopped. I have dreams where I wake up feeling like I've lost something. I can like identify that. I think anyone who has like lost anything can identify with that feeling. I mean, not to this extent. Yeah. But it's crushing, and it's like. Mm-hmm. It's not something that Joel has handled very well, his grief.
No. But it's very, I mean, it's a feeling that is very easily overcomes, or the feeling can be a lot stronger than most people are. And he, oh God, yeah, this was devastating when he's talking about he like fails her again and again and again. And Tommy's like, oh, you want me to take her? And Joel, and that's
Wait,
when
he
you
says, I'm
read it.
feeling
I'm
in
sorry.
my sleep. All I've ever done is fail
Oh,
her
yeah.
again and again. And I'm like, who is Sarah?
I think so. I
He's
think,
talking about Sarah
yeah.
and Ellie at the same
Yeah, I
time.
think
I
it's
don't
now like,
know.
mm-hmm.
Now he's seeing like saving Ellie as this way to save
Yeah,
Sarah. Ugh. And he's
yeah.
like, you have to take her because I'll get her killed.
Mm.
It's the last thing I'll ever ask of you, I swear. So he's testing this relationship. A big ultimatum.
Yeah,
And Tommy says, I'll take her at dawn. Brothers, bro code.
Brothers bro code.
That's bro code.
That's bro code, dude.
I'll take your fake daughter. Human salvation child.
Yeah, he trusts him not to tell anyone about Ellie being immune.
Including his pregnant wife.
Including his pregnant wife, who's in charge of the town. And Tommy, okay, so at this point, Lizzie, this was my first prediction that was incorrect. So I was like, I was like, I feel like a twist is going to happen with Tommy. Like, I'm like, is Tommy going to tell everyone and then they're going to like try to kill Ellie? That was like kind of my first, that was what I was thinking here. And
I think because his lady was like, don't trust anyone, basically, I was like, be careful who you trust. I'm like, wait, now I'm being careful who I trust as a viewer.
Exactly. And I'm like, that's why I was like, because of what she was saying, I was like, I feel like Tommy, because Tommy goes into the movie theater, he sees Maria, he looks at her, and then he turns away. You can, and I was really, really thinking that like, okay, he's going to tell her, but I guess seeing him turn his back, it's like, okay, no, he's gonna actually, do what his brother says. Joel walks up the stairs into the house. He sees Ellie at the window reading a diary, and she was like, is this all people cared about? Boys. And
so sad.
Oh my God, so sad. And she's like, it's bizarre. Oh, why are you here? If you're gonna ditch me, ditch me. Abandonment wounds. And he's like, what did you hear? I have to leave her. You have to take her. And he's like, I made this
Ellie's
decision.
a good spy.
Ellie's a great spy.
That's a thing we could do.
Spy? No, there's no way. I'm too much of a gossip.
Like, no, but like follow people.
Oh, follow people. Oh,
listen.
but yeah, okay, I could follow people. I just couldn't keep it to myself.
Katherine, we need to do something.
Lizzy's like, Katherine, work with me here.
We need a skill. I'm panicking.
Oh my gosh.
Ellie says that she stood up for Joel today because she thought ... Joel's like, that decision was for your own good. You're way better off with Tommy. He knows the area. And Ellie's like, do you give a shit about me or not? Joel says, of course I do. And then she says, then what are you so afraid of? I'm not her, Maria told me about Sarah.
You could see how Joel is so pissed. I'm like, oh, Joel's going to be pissed. And he was so pissed. He was like, don't.
Furious. He is. He has seen red. He says, don't say another word. And she says, I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. I've lost people too. He goes, you have no idea what loss is.
Joel, I'm sorry.
A line that is in the trailer.
I'm sorry, Joel. You can't say that to anyone else in the apocalypse. You are not, yes, you lost Sarah, but you cannot say to anyone in this post-apocalyptic world, you don't know what loss is. Everyone knows what loss is. It's the post-apocalyptic world.
I mean...
But maybe he means, like,
on the other hand, she didn't know the world before. He lost the whole world, too.
Oh, okay. Everyone. That's a good point, Lizzy. Okay, I retract. I retract it. No, you're right.
Obviously, no, you're right, technically.
Right.
Because... Ellie has lost everyone she's loved too.
Yeah. Yes. Like
so, and that's what she says here.
Yes.
Everybody I've cared for has died or left me. So she's got an insecure attachment style. Everybody fucking except
relatable.
You.
Yeah. Everybody.
I would be more scared. And Joel's like, "You're right. You're not my daughter, and I sure as hell ain't your dad." And he says, come dawn, we're going our separate ways. He slams the door. He's sad in his bedroom. And we see this a Christmas flashback. He's putting the Christmas ornaments on the tree with Sarah, but we only see her hair at first. And I was like, oh God, is he forgetting what she looks like? And then she looks up and he cries and he turns the light off. It's horrible.
This really good. Yeah, this really. I would say though the saddest moment,
the one with the kid,
was when that was so sad, and that one, but when he was doing that speech with Tommy, when he was talking to Tommy and talking about how weak he felt and how panicked and I mean, Pedro Pascal, fucking slow clap. Oh my God. The act.
Oh my God.
Nothing but the absolute best. So good. But yeah, just so. This one really, really killed me. I really felt just. Yeah, I don't have words.
We cut to dawn. Ellie is packed and ready to go. Knock, knock. Who's it going to be? It's Tommy. Okay, they go to the stables. Oh, Joel's there, packing a horse. Ellie's like, you came to say goodbye, but she already knows. He says, I came to steal a horse and go. You deserve a choice. I still think you're better with Tommy. And Ellie throws her bag at Joel and says, let's go. Cute. Immediately picks him. And Joel asks for the general direction. They hug. Tommy tells him there's a place for both of you here. Joel says, counting on it.
I hope he survives.
So he borrows the gun. Nice. And Joel and Ellie go through this gate. And this moment when they ride the horse through the gate was my most video game moment of the week. The gate looked like fake. It looked like not real logs or something. I don't know. There was just something about it that had a very like video game quality to me.
Oh, interesting.
And they ride their horse through the country, leaving Tommy behind. And we cut to Joel teaching Ellie to shoot. I can't.
That was.
And she's complaining about the gun, and he says, "Squeeze the trigger like you love it, gentle, nice and slow." And this was my horniest moment of the week.
Lizzy, this was also my
yes
horniest moment of the week. Hearing Pedro Pascal say, "Nice and slow." Like you love it. I'm doing a bad impression, but yeah.
No, it was very good. It was Ellie's horniest moment too.
It was like, Ellie's like, wait a minute,
get pregnant.
Yeah. She's like, I'm confused. Yeah, exactly.
The pregnant dick, and he smiles. He's dad. It's confusing because it's my horniest moment, but it is also a father-daughter moment.
It is. Well, Freud would say it's not confusing. You know what Freud would say? Not confusing at all, would say. Makes perfect sense.
We see the bullet is in a bag with the word asshole on it.
Funny.
So they're going to go shoot some assholes. And Ellie asks if Jackson is how things used to be. And Joel says the world was bigger than that. Some people wanted to own everything. Some people didn't want anyone to own anything. She's like, which were you? He says, neither, just did my job, building houses, stores. I was a contractor. And she says, oh, a contractor, that's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, we were cool. Everyone loved contractors.
What a good joke. What a good
That was
joke.
the cutest moment of the episode.
That was my cutest moment of the episode.
Scene. Oh, this is when they do the flower moments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. And then she's like, the contractor. But I will say, like, this joke, like... A lesser actor would do this joke so much worse. Like, this is a great joke.
Yeah.
And he,
you'd be
also
like,
the way
hack
he does it.
If someone else did it.
Exactly. But he does it so perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kills it.
Because he's grizzled.
Yes, he's grizzled. We kind of see a montage. Oh, we're seeing a montage of them, getting there, and they're talking. He's just explaining the rules. What sport is he explaining the rules to?
Football,
right? Turnover. Sound off in the comments. What?
I think it's football.
Okay. He's explaining which, like, again, yeah, would be really fun to just explain. There's so much to explain to someone who just doesn't know the world.
They get there easily in 5 days to this college, and Joel's like, they'll be in the middle, and then they see a Firefly symbol on a street sign. There's guard stations, no guards. And they leave the horse, go inside. There's deserted papers all over the floor. And they find this packing list. And Ellie's like, wait, they just left?
Wait,
and
this
then they
moment,
hear something.
this packing list moment was my most video game moment of the week. And I say that because Nick, my friend who I've mentioned before, said I don't think they even knew that there was an award, but they were like, that's very video game. And I paused and I said, yes, explain. Explain how that's very video game.
How so?
And they were like, it's because in a video game, you'll like, it's basically you'll go into a room and look and there's a sheet of paper that explains, that just gives clues. I guess this is a thing in video games where like he basically said that is a very video game scene where you go and you pick up the thing and you're
it's
like,
a clue.
there's like clues on a paper that you have to look at. Anyway, so that was so they see that people have left. They've gone to...
And there's all these wild monkeys everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that really scared me. I was like, don't go. I don't know why. The monkeys really freaked me out. I was like, why?
No, I was like, they'll bite you.
Yeah, I was like,
this is...
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. I was like, you're going to get a different kind of pandemic.
They see this map. It looks like maybe they're going to Salt Lake City. All right, so we got the next leg of the trip planned. And Joel sees a bunch of raiders with weapons downstairs. And he's like, let's go out the back. And they sneak to this horse. But this guy has caught up to Joel. Ellie warns him again. Ellie has saved his life a million times.
Yeah.
Joel needs a hearing aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does. It's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Probably hard
it's
to
good
get.
Thing she's there. Yeah.
Joel breaks this guy's neck.
Oh, my God.
Ellie looks down. The guy stabbed Joel. This was my scariest moment of the week. I know he can't die, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, that seems really hurtful.
It was when I gasped. I was like, it was a gasp. A gasp from me. And yeah, I would say, I forgot to say, I think my scariest moment of the week was when they were entering the deserted college. I was like, no. I was just screaming at the TV. I was like, no. No, you know what it was? It was when Joel said, wow, this was an easy journey. And I immediately thought of you and Chad saying in The Bachelor, it's like once they say everything's going great, no drama.
Don't do an ITM saying things are great.
I was like, oh no. And I got so scared. I was like, something bad is going to happen.
Nothing could go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong.
I actually, now I'm thinking back and I'm like, well, probably the scene with the dog sniffing.
Oh, right, you're right.
Because that was really stressful.
That was stressful. That wasn't the stressful moment. But yeah.
Joel falls off the horse. Ellie is like, Joel, get up. I can't do this without you, and cries. And we get this very long shot of her lingering crouched over Joel, which I felt like was like we really sat in the shot. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like when Joel was over Sarah. Like,
I didn't think about that.
I don't know. I loved this episode.
This was so sad. Let me explain. So, and then we see the next episode's a flashback. Because I was like, wait, because Nick and I were like, wait, are they gonna? We were like, we have to watch what the next thing is because I wonder they can't give away this cliffhanger by like seeing Joel again. So we were like, maybe they won't do a flash of a next episode, but they did, and it was the flashback, which makes sense. With the sister from
you think
Euphoria,
they would keep us in the cliffhanger?
That's what Nick said. Which I think was a good point. I think he they were like when it's kind of they were like when there's cliffhangers like this, sometimes there isn't the next episode, because then it would what's the point of that cliffhanger? Like then immediately. My thing was, I thought I thought there were so many good lines. I thought the emotions were good. I think structure was my problem, and dramatic. I kept expecting. I think the scene that was Joel and Ellie's big scene, and then the next morning, it was really anticlimactic. Him just like being like, okay, just kidding, because I was just like, him telling Tommy to take her. It makes sense, I guess, if you're writing this. If I'm writing this, I'm like, yeah, these beats make sense, but I think watching it, I think I was just expecting more. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting to be thrown off or have a bigger surprise, or I don't know. But I didn't when Joel was just like, just kidding, I'm going with you. I was like, okay, I don't really feel this. I don't know if I'm feeling what they
Do you think there should have been like another beat before Joel changed his mind?
It makes sense now, maybe, because like looking back, I'm like, okay, I guess the moment of him changing his mind was thinking about Sarah. But I actually thought, I thought something external was going to happen. I thought there was going to be something, which would have been devastating, if I thought Tommy was going to do something sus, or something like under Maria's, like, hey, do this because you gotta, and like he was gonna choose his unborn kid and Maria over Joel. I thought there was gonna be
I thought that would happen too.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were gonna have this like kind of idyllic paradise type scenario.
Right.
And like I like that that's there because there's like hope.
Yes, you're right. It was our which I agree. I think as a person I'm glad. I think as a viewer I was maybe just confused. Maybe it's because my expectations. I think every scene I was like, everything's fine. Okay. I don't know. It was like they were building, and then
you thought there was gonna be a twist that they were bad.
Yes, and it's not. I don't think that would have made it so much better. But I don't know. Or I think I wasn't satisfied also with the Tommy and his reunion, because I think. It's hard to do. I mean, it's hard to like show so much of a. I don't know. It's not like the writers have like 3 hours to like suss out this like brotherhood, but I don't know. I wasn't really happy with those scenes, or I didn't really feel satisfied with those scenes. Not that they were meant to. Honestly, maybe I will say I don't think I think the actor's really a good looking Tommy, but I don't think I love his acting that much. And I think it takes it out of it for me a little bit. But I think his accent's not that good. Every time I get taken out of it, I'm like, every time I go accent, I'm like Southern accent when he talks. When your brain does that and you're like thinking about that, like, and then it takes you out. Anyway, but yeah, so I thought, but overall, I mean, I think what Craig Mazin and I don't know if it's more Craig Mazin or Neil, what's his name? The other guy, Neil Druckmann. I don't know which one it is, but I really appreciate when they do these little all of Joel and Ellie's conversations. I'm always really happy with, and I'm always feeling like I love their little
I think that's
things.
why I loved this episode. Was I just loved their storyline in it. I guess
I think that's
fair. Like the Tommy storyline was fine.
Yeah,
like,
it was fine. But I think that Joel and Ellie is so strong. They write it really strong, and I think and just Joel. I think just everything, every scene with Joel is just amazing. And yeah, them together, and I love all their cute little. They're like just talking about the world. I think it's so fun to hear them just talk. And again, also the world building. I loved seeing that town. I love seeing how a town like that would run. Like that's like my favorite thing about. I love that. So I love that. I love the first scene. And yeah, and it is. You're right. It is nice that it's important that we know there is hope and there's like a place for them. That's gonna make this.
I think that's part of what a lot of in Walking Dead, it feels hopeless and it's extremely bleak. So I think I appreciated
which
that.
Honestly isn't very realistic, because in real life, I mean, I can say that I like to believe in this, in like the radical hopeness. It's like in real life there is always hope, or we can choose to see that there's always hope, whereas when you're writing a TV show like The Walking Dead, you're like, no, you can just write out the hope. Whereas this is it's a little more true to life, that there would be like humans would figure out something like a little haven, like they would realistically be able to create this town that like can live a happy life. Yeah. But thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
I can't wait for the next episode.
Apologies, this one is late because of me and my ways.
It's girls come first. Your girlfriends come first. And when one's getting married, you got to beat a penis pinata. You gotta beat it to the. I loved that video. You must.
Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta.
Oh wait, before we go, I have to do my thing. But you say what you're gonna say. Oh, from Shan COC. Love this pod. This podcast is so great that I just recommended it to my therapist after disclosing how much the chapter 3 destroyed me. I love listening every week and can't wait to see what you all bring in the future. Thanks, Shan. I'm so glad. Thanks for getting. Let's get all the therapists in the country on board. On Alexa.
Send an episode to your therapist and talk about it.
Yes, and be like, are these girls okay?
Us and let us know.
Yeah. Sound off in the comments what's going on with us.
I would love as much, help as possible.
Yeah.
All right.
But thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, and we'll be back for episode 7 next week.
And look for the light.
For the light.
Love you.
Was that it?
I think that was it. Love it.